Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Renee Mehrra, and today my guest is a very esteemed speaker on Hinduism. His name is Narinder Kapoor. He actually calls himself Narinder Money Kapoor. Money stands for his wife, so that's a beautiful way of putting his wife's name also as a middle name. So I applaud you, Mr. Kapoor, for that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And a little brief background on Mr. Kapoor. He is on the advisory board of Domestic Harmony Foundation. He's given several talks for the last 4 decades in religious and educational institutions on Hinduism. He is on the executive board of the Indian American Forum and was the chairperson of meditation from 2016 to 2020. And now he is the chairperson of the Divine Mantra Meditation, as well as he's actively involved with the Gayatri Kendra Foundation and the Shanti Fund Foundation. And Mr. Kapoor served in the United States Treasury for over 2 decades. Let's talk about, I know Guru Purnima is coming soon, and Guru Purnima basically is to pay obeisance to a guru. And it could be a spiritual mentor, spiritual guide, spiritual teacher, and doesn't have to be of any particular faith. You know, somebody is your spiritual guide, could be from any denomination or non-denominational institution. And guru plays a very important role in everybody's life, because this is our way for our spiritual progress. And we define spiritual progress as how much we've evolved in this journey inside the inner journey. So it's the journey that's inside. We're not talking about the outward journey of materialism and greed and avarice and competition, but this is the journey of inner peace that brings us closer in communion with God. So Guru, Mr. Kapoor, tell us the importance of Guru in our lives, because Guru, the real Satguru, is the one who is in communion with God and the one who can actually help us to cultivate those values and ethics that are so very important in our journey that is inwards and upwards.
As you said it rightly, in context of Hinduism, the role of Guru is par excellent. But at the same time, this word has been loosely used and misused also these days, especially when the technology is there. Every third person becomes a guru, and he has actually didn't put any time and resources physically, mentally, spiritually to attain that status. So self-styled people, they are calling themselves gurus, and they are sucking the resources of the innocent peoples. They have become the parasite on this innocent society. And people are people, they follow blindly, and spiritual progress is totally rotten. Look at the fabric of social life these days. It was not like that. 100 years back, 200 years back, there used to be joint families, and there was a lot of love, selflessness, and dedication and sacrifice. But all those words are now aliens, because there is no spiritual growth inside the common man. And the people who are guiding, they themselves don't know what they're doing. They are just materialistic people. They teach others detachment, but they are so much attached to their own little ashrams and other things. And that it is a very painful experience at this time. And
it's one who dispels the darkness, guru.
Yeah. So we are talking, you use the right word, Satguru. That is the right word. And it is, you cannot imagine how many Satgurus are there. But gurus, there are millions. So there is a very clear distinction. These self-styled gurus, man-made gurus, they are no good. They are no good. They are damaging the inside of common man. But they make them so ritualistic, and the spiritual growth is totally blocked. So having said that, I am just sharing with you a very profound mantra which we recite all the time. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Para Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guru Namaha. Now, people interpreting this particular verse in a totally different way. In the realm of ignorance, they interpret this word as a Guru is Brahma, Guru is Vishnu, Guru is Mahesh, and such a person, I am bowing my head to that entity. But it is not like that. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, they are the three forces who created this creation, phenomenal creation. We are not talking of the globe, the phenomenal creation. Those are the three divine forces. So the real meaning of this particular mantra is Brahma is a guru, Vishnu is a guru, Shiva is a guru. It is the other way around, because all these three forces are omnipotent, omnipresent. A man in the human form don't have that quality. They cannot be omnipotent, omnipresent. They are there where they are sitting. So having said that, when we wrongly interpret the intellectual interpretation of this such profound mantra, that goes in the realm of social circle. And people started worshipping the people. That's it. To whom we call Guru these days, they are not qualified people. They didn't do anything. Just they got some possessions and some followers, and that's the story starts. And they are making the society more ritualistic. There's no spiritual growth. But if you look at the tradition in Hinduism, Lord Krishna as a guru. But those gurus were epitome of sacrifice, selflessness, compassion, empathy. And spiritually, they were surcharged because they invested so much time in the jungles or in the what you call the caves, at the bank of the river, at the top of the mountain. They invested so much time and went into the fourth stage of mind, where this Srishti, this creation, becomes so clear. You can read it, everything. So from that level, when they come back, they become Sadguru. And if you and me and are lucky, sitting in his lotus feet, we are blessed. We are blessed, we are transformed. And then they see the competency of the disciple. Is he competent to transfer that celestial knowledge or not? Very few and far between true disciples are found,
Right.
and detected by this great man. So
I think,
yeah.
What you rightly said, it's the true guru. And, unfortunately, we see a lot of people who claim themselves to be gurus are really not gurus, but Sadguru is a true guru. And I think the prayer should be, to lead, the Sadguru should lead us from untruth to truth, from darkness to light, from mortality to immortality. So we are, and that there's a mantra in Hinduism, Om Asatoma Satgamaya, Tamisoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityuma Mritam Gamaya. I think that is so profound. And I think, and a guru facilitates that journey to immortality, the journey to truth, and the journey to light. So I think our quest should be to look for a true guru, a Sadguru, as I said before, who is in communion with God. And how do you then distinguish and make that distinction if this is a true guru, a Sadguru,
Because
you were looking for?
It's a very profound question you asked me. This is a relationship between guru and disciple. Only guru alone does not mean it. There must be a disciple also. So disciple, that individual has to be competent, first of all. He must understand his mission on this planet. If you sit around any these so-called gurus, just put the TV on and see what they are asking from this great man. Trivial things. Recently, Jagran, these 9 Navratra is coming. Mata Rani's puja is commissioned in different 9 manifestations. But look at the crowd. Each day, what they are asking, Mata Rani. Those are all material things, perishable things. Nobody is asking the spiritual knowledge. Nobody. So, first of all, they are not competent disciples because they are not asking the right thing. And then whatever they are asking, that individual is not competent to give anything because he himself not invested. So my line of thinking is that if I am a disciple, first of all, I should be competent. Competent means I should be detaching myself from the material world. Detachment does not mean run away. Detachment is the art and technique to see detachment in attachment. That is the core message. So once I develop that art, living in my home, don't become the owner, become the trustee. Home belongs to somebody else because millions came and millions gone on that little plot of land, and they lived here, they vanished, and so nothing belongs to me. I am just the trustee. I should enjoy the ownership. Should a disciple which is very competent, he must understand that ownership will create attachment. And as long as he is attached to the things, he cannot attain any spiritual growth. It is either or, it is not two-way. It does not happen that way. So going back to your question, that the relationship between disciple and Sadguru, the disciple must work very hard under the guidance of the Sadguru. People are doing, they're just sitting and providing comforts to this great man, but they are not asking anything. And he understands that. Because this, it's like spiritual knowledge, true spiritual knowledge is like atomic energy. If you give it to some wrong person, he will use it in the wrong way. So like atomic energy, if you give to the wrong people or wrong country, they will destroy the world. So it has to be protected. So in order to become a competent disciple, if I am the true aspirant for spiritual growth, first of all, based upon my priority of life, do I give the top priority of spiritual growth or not? Or I'm just fooling around. Roti pani kha lete hain, hum fir कहते हैं मंदिर चलते हैं. It does not work that way. So things have to be screened out, bring the top priority, spiritual growth, and then seek for the Sadguru. Then you will understand what Sadguru is. And then all these man-made gurus will be diminished in your imagination. So this is my humble submission that we individuals, we are not Sadgurus, but at the same time, we are spiritual aspirants. You are asking good questions.
Right.
Ordinary person does not understand we are talking. So it is both ways, competent disciple and Sadguru. It's the ideal combination. And Hinduism is full of these, like Swami Vivekananda, true guru. He got it. And he changed the world. That is what happened because he was a competent disciple.
Absolutely. And I think once you find a Sadguru, a true guru, and once you are a disciple who is in true spiritual quest, I think the true transformation of a disciple, in my opinion, takes place when there's then complete faith and surrender. Otherwise, the transformation will never be able to take place, because if we don't have that faith and are not able to surrender, then we are again going to be led astray. We'll never be able to move on. So I think for spiritual progress and for our inner journey and for our inner growth, first of all, we have to be rooted in gratitude and have faith and completely surrender. And I think then only we can move on to receptivity and get the grace.
You said it right, Renee, and I agree with you respectfully. My submission is that to surrender and to be thankful, grateful, one has to be, first of all, the condition precedent to use these words is that the person must be competent. If he is just surrendering, that is a blind faith. And blind faith leads us to the blind spot. जिसको हम devotion कहते हैं, devotion, surrender, it is a qualified term.
Mm-hmm.
It's a qualified term. You got to be competent to use these words. Otherwise, they bring more damage than the benefit. So, in order to surrender, I must know what to surrender. What to surrender. If I don't understand, the life is simple. We made it difficult. That is another issue. So, in simple terms, if I want to surrender to somebody, I must know what I want. But if I surrender and asking, oh, Guruji, my job should be better. Okay, then ये बेटा better हो जाएगी. So, but what benefit I got? Job तो फिर चली जाएगी. At a certain point in time, after 60 years, either you will retire or they will let you go. I didn't ask anything permanent. I must know that I am a visitor. I am not a resident on this planet. I am a visitor. And if I stay in the hotel where the rent is 1,000 per night, I enjoy only because I know I am not a resident here. I will leave this tomorrow. This world, this type of thinking that I am a visitor, I'm not the resident. Now you adjust your day-to-day living. Once you practice this art and create the competency, focus on this thought, and we are lucky. तभी कहते हैं कि it is very, very rare to find Satguru. Lifetime लग जाता है. और lifetime इसलिए नहीं लगता कि ढूंढने में. Lifetime लगता है competency create करने में. तभी आप पहचानोगे अगर if I am not a jeweler, I don't understand. You can sell me brass, I will say it's okay. It is a gold. I don't know. So in order to advance, first of all, I must adjust my priority. Do I want to advance in spiritual growth? Because this is the one-time opportunity. There are 8.4 million evolutions. And man, this human form is the apex point of creation. इसके ऊपर कुछ नहीं है, right? So after पता नहीं कितने, how many million years it took me to take this form in a human form. But now if I don't adjust my top priority, it is now or never. If I just continue to accumulate possessions, things, houses, cars, reputation, these are all transferable things. They will vanish in time. But things which Bhagavad Gita profoundly professes, we should pinpoint those things. These things, Lord Krishna made it very clear that what can go with you. So once I have the information is the age of technology, there's a lot of information. But I have to translate it into my daily life. Then it becomes Gyan. Otherwise, it's information. information being bombarded from all sides. But it is not Gyan. Gyan is when I put it into my own practice, that is the Gyan. So we have to adjust our priorities in daily lives, what we want. We should not run away from our daily chores. Those are our responsibilities. But as I said it before, with utmost humility, we should resist the temptation to use the word ownership. Nothing belongs to you.
And
Once I adjust my thinking, now I am a spiritual aspirant. Now I am looking for a Sadguru to advance my this type polished thinking. उनके चरणों में बैठ के, I will advance. Otherwise, I will be sitting in the form of surrender. उनके पैर दबा दिए, उनकी comfort कर दी. But I am asking nothing.
we talk of surrender, it's not blind faith. We're talking of surrender to the wisdom of our sages and seers, surrender to the teachings and the values and ethics that have been disseminated through, all this time. And I think the other point that you mentioned, we keep asking for, I want this, I want that. Our prayers change as we spiritually evolve. Instead of saying, I want this, I want that, it comes down to then, thank you for everything. And then it comes to, I'm so unworthy of all this. And then the prayer comes to, sweet is thy will. Yep. So, from I want to whatever is good for me, God, you know it. So sweet is thy will, I think, is very profound. And when we say sweet is thy will, and when we surrender, that surrender is to the will of the Supreme's will, to the higher state of consciousness, that we are unworthy of knowing what we truly want. So I think that is so important in our spiritual growth as well.
Yeah. And like I said before, there are 4 stages of the mind. And until and unless we understand the technique and the process, how to manage the mind, if the mind is not managed, whatever we are doing, it's not at the optimum level. Certain things are compromised because my mind is not focused. Not focused. Focused mind is a conditioned precedent for the spiritual growth. And even in the advancement of material achievements, if the mind is not focused. So in this process, to find the Sadguru, I have to do my homework also. People don't do homework and they think everything, Guruji will bless me, I will be all right. You will not be all right. You didn't do your homework. If I'm sitting in a classroom and the teacher gives me the homework, I don't do the homework, but I start talking good about the teacher and you are very good, you are very good. Does not matter. I didn't do my homework. So we, the human beings, must understand existence on this planet is not a merrymaking. It is a spiritual experience. You have to advance it. After 8.4 million evolutions के बाद आपको ये मिला है, depending upon the karmic philosophy. But don't let it slip now. Invest time and resources in the spiritual growth and find the Sadguru. It is only possible when you have the competence. Like Swami, इनके गुरु जो थे स्वामी विवेकानंद के स्वामी,
was it Ramakrishna Paramahansa?
He found the competence in this individual. There were other people also. The ashram was full. He was selected because he was investing in time. Certain things are genetic. You come with a vision and determination. Bhagavad Gita, there are many verses. Okay, I give a divine warranty that if you attain these qualities, your next birth will be in those families where you will get the opportunity to advance. This is a divine warranty in Bhagavad Gita. So when the Sadguru finds the competent individual around him, then the relationship starts. There may be 100 people, but if they are not competent, there's no relationship, it is only service. And if those people are thinking We are the disciples, they're using the wrong word because spiritually they are not advancing. So let me summarize again that Sadhguru is the person who is the manifestations of the Almighty Himself. Like there are two verses, Jada Jada hi dharmasya, Glanir bhavti bharat, abhyutthanam adharmasya, tadatmanam siyajamyaham, paritranay sadhunam, vinashaya cha dushkritam, dharma sanstapnarthay, sam bhavami yuge yuge. So ये जो divine warranty है, that is what we are talking. जिनमें ये संभवामी युगे युगे आता है, जितने भक्ति काल के medieval time के spiritual person थे, they had that quality. They had that quality. If you understand India, we are all from India. 500 years Muslim rule on us. 300 years British rule. 200 odd some years Pathans, right? But they didn't make a dent on Hinduism. They made a lot of conversion. But still, you look at India, it is 1.3 billion people of this faith, maybe less.
Yeah.
It is only because Sadhgurus were there. They protected the society. The undercurrent was there. Otherwise, the military force, the temptation, the fear, they might have made India one of them, but it didn't happen. So that is the miracle of the individual, जिसको हम Sadhguru कहते हैं. Sadhguru is the manifestations of God Himself. But to get the advantage of such a great entity, you got to become Arjuna, action-oriented, centered mind, focused mind.
And I think some of the salient characteristics of somebody who is on the spiritual path and progressing is when some people look at life from a very different lens. There's compassion, there's empathy, there's respect for all creation, the feeling of unity, that we are all one, children of one God. And I think, and all these answers are all lying within us. We just never take that journey within. And I think we never take that journey within, we will never be able to progress. And I think that's why a spiritual teacher, a mentor, a guru plays a very fundamental role in our lives, because guru, then the spiritual guide, gives us the direction that we need. And once we go within, I think, and when we start to meditate, we will know the answers. We will know what our purpose in life is, who we truly are. And I think that self-realization then leads us to God realization. So I think that is so very important for one to then have a spiritual teacher in one's life.
That is true. You summarize it very well. And I just want to add one more little thing, that this subject of guru and disciple, this relationship, the word competency should be used repetitively. Like if I want to go to medical school, there's a competency test. I have to pass it. Otherwise, I won't become a doctor. The same other disciplines, I must have the basic knowledge and the urge and the zest and zeal to pursue that. Like people are treating spirituality as a hobby. It does not work that way. It is not a hobby. It's a top priority. I have to adjust my day-to-day life in the enlightenment of this thought that spirituality is the top priority of my life. Because I am a visitor, everything will stay here. I came naked, I will go naked. This all tamasha. Then we make, at the end of the day, when we know time is not our side, we go to the attorney, we make living trust, we make bills. The thing which is not yours, you are committing a sin now again. It belongs to the Almighty. When I went to college, the college was already there. I didn't create college. The professors were already there. It belonged to this society. Don't hold it. तो इसी में सारी उम्र चली जाती है. And spiritual growth is zero. And then yet people don't understand that there are इतनी लंबी लाइन है एवोल्यूशन की, 8.4 बिलियन एवोल्यूशन, पता नहीं कहाँ खड़ा होना पड़े. दिस इज गोल्डन. तभी कहते हैं कि ये जो मनुष्य जीवन है बड़ा अनमोल है. वो अनमोल इसलिए नहीं है कि मैं स्टॉक मार्केट में सारा टाइम लगा दूं. नो, अनमोल है अपनी स्पिरिचुअल ग्रोथ को इन द एनलाइटमेंट ऑफ दिस इशू, कि मैं ईश्वर के साथ मर्ज कैसे हूँ, डिवाइन फोर्सेस के साथ कैसे उनका एक बन जाऊं. That is, जिसको हम मोक्ष कहते हैं. मोक्ष means you are merging yourself with utmost dedication, commitment, and perseverance. You are doing these things, and you will change your priorities also. And then you are a very competent disciple, and definitely, with a very short period of time, you happen to come across the Sadhguru. They are also looking for. They are also looking.
I know. And it's very important to keep that spiritual progress, the spiritual growth as a priority, which we don't. We put it in the back burner. And by the time we realize, oh, we should have, become more spiritually aware of ourselves and have spiritual growth, it's a little too late. So I think it's so very important to teach this right from at a very young, early age. And my spiritual mentor always said, be good, do good, be one. And I think that summarizes pretty much everything when we are looking at our spiritual progress. And when we take that inner step for meditation, for inner peace and bliss, that's when our real journey starts. And that's just the beginning of the journey. It's not like when you have meditated and I've gotten everything. It's just the beginning. And in that journey, then there's more journeys within. Thank you very much for bringing us back to our spiritual roots. I'm Dr. Renee Mehrra. Stay healthy, stay positive.
Thank you, Renee. Thank you.